Hello fashion lovers, welcome back to my channel. Guys, today it is the machines you need for your ready to wear business, the ones you need, the ones you can start with, maybe from your room, from your home, or maybe you want to rent a shop, the ones you can start with and the ones you can use to as time goes on you get them. All right, that is what I'll be discussing in this video. If it's what you're interested in, please like the video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channels, guys. So when you start a ready to wear business, for it to be easy for you, you need the necessary machines. All right, now this guide walks you through the core machines, tools you actually need as a beginner, or rather you've been in the business or you want to level up. All right, this will explain everything, what the machine does and the right way to go about it. Okay, so the first thing is our sewing machine, the straight sewing machine. That is the first machine you are to get as a beginner, or you're trying to go into the fashion industry. Your straight sewing machine. Now, your straight sewing machine comes in different sizes. We have the industrial sewing machine, we have the manual sewing machine, we have the tabletop sewing machine. Now, this machine, what determines which one to choose is your finance. If you're capable of going for the industrial, fine. The industrial is about 500 plus, or if not 600 right now, or thereabout. And the manual is about 100 to 200,000 naira right now. And the tabletop is not smiling anymore, all right? So the one you're capable of buying depends on your finance. It is the first machine you're to get, even if you're not a ready to wear business person, but you're interested in sewing fashion. It is the first machine you are to buy. You can buy the zigzag later, but the industrial or the manual straight sewing is the number one thing you will need, machine you will need if you want to scale through in the fashion industry. All right, now what does the this machine do? All right, it handles your stitches. It's for joining. It is for joining, joining of the fabrics and all the rest of them. Okay, so this is the number one most machine you should have if you're starting a ready to wear business of your own. Any of them can work. Okay, now once you have gotten this, the next machine you'll be needing is your the next machine you'll be needing is your overlock machine. Yes, you will be needing your overlock. Now, when it comes to overlock, that is your weaving machine. All right, we have the manual one, we equally have the tabletop of it, and we have the industrial top of it. All right, now any of your overlock machine can go. We have the 3 mile thread and we have the 4 thread. Now the prices of this overlock machine differs. The industrial, for you to get an industrial overlock machine right now, you should have about 700 to 800 900,000 naira with you. That should be about between some dollars, about roughly $1,000 or thereabout. All right. Now we have the manual. The manual too is not easy to come by. I remember when the manual used to be 15,000 naira. Then I got mine then, but right now it is no longer 15,000 naira. For you to get the manual weaving machine, you should have about 100, 200 plus with you. It is crazy. Things are so expensive right now. And for the tabletop, which is what most people go for. Now you have gotten your industrial sewing, the straight. What most people go for is the tabletop. The one you are seeing that has that red thread. That is the one majority of small ready to wear businesses go for. It is very easy. It serves, just that you have to be careful. If you're the one to use it, you already know it's your property, you have to be careful. But if you employ somebody to specialize in weaving, give it a neat finishing, You have to train the person in a way to handle this machine. All right. Now, as your demand goes higher, you will need industrial machine. Now, when we talk about manual and tabletop and industrial machine, you'll be wondering what is the difference? The difference is the time or the quantity. When it comes to quantity, your industrial machine can produce as much as you desire, but when you're dealing with tabletop and manual top, there are times when these machines, they will, when they work well, they get tired, you see them misbehaving. Seriously, you see them misbehaving, that when you come back the next day, you see that that machine that was not working yesterday is just instantly just working this morning. All right. So the difference is the capability. When it comes to quantity, all right, industrial can work back and forth. But when it comes to other one, it's not easy. All right. Now, the third most important thing you need is your cutting space. You need your cutting space. You need your equipment. You need your tapes. You need your rule. Your space for cutting, for drafting, it is very, very crucial. Every machine or tools I'm listing in this video are the things you cannot do without as a ready to wear business owner. You need your space. There's no two ways about it. You cannot be where you're sewing and be cutting. It makes it more confusing. So it's better you have this, when it's time to cut, you go to that end, this is what is done here. You're there, you're doing what you're supposed to do there. When it's time to sew, you move to the sewing side. So the third thing is your table, your space, your rule, measuring tape, your ruler, your French curve, different types of rule, your scissors, basically the equipment you will need for your cutting processes and your cutting space. Okay, so this is the third most important thing you should consider. Now, as a ready to wear business owner, please do not go for small table. Go for a wide table. There are clothes, especially maxi gowns. There are clothes you want to cut that needs that wideness. You not need to go and bend down. Bending down to cut clothes is the worst thing you can do. All right, it reduces work stress, it increases stress rather, and the workload will be much. You will not be able to accomplish much when you're doing that. So when you're getting your table ready, please, as wide as possible. If possible, let the person making it for you come in your space and make it, because there are tables when they make it, the tables will not be able to pass through the door. So that is why I advise the person, I said earlier, the person should come to you and see your space, or possibly be in your vicinity, in that space, to make your table. All right. Now, after that, the fourth thing you'll be needing is your ironing. You see, fashion and iron, they are five and six. When you finish sewing your dress and you don't give it a good ironing, like you don't steam that cloth to stand firm and give that neat finishing, it reduces the worth of your dress. I tell you, when you iron your dress, it gives it more value. A simple dress that is ironed can worth more than a simple, a expensive dress, or not expensive, well designed, embellished dress that is not ironed. Ironing and fashion and sewing, they are five and six. So we have the steaming iron, the industrial iron, whichever one you can afford in any of these iron, start with it. We have the normal iron, but the best I would say is, if you can afford a steaming iron, that is between 50 to 100K right now. If you can afford it, go for any of these. Go for the steaming industrial iron. It's less stressful. Like when you put the iron on your dress, it does the job immediately. It doesn't need you to be stressing much. So any of the iron you can work with, you can start with rather. go for it. But if you can afford it, buy the steaming industrial iron. All right. Now, so dress form, mannequin. Now, mannequin is another thing you will need because that dress you're making, where do you display it? Even if you're selling it online, you will definitely need to display it. All right. So, mannequin, you cannot do without it. All right. It is very important you have mannequin, not just because you need to display your dress. There are dresses you want to make that requires doing the cutting, more like the cutting on the mannequin. There are dresses that you don't mass produce once. There are dresses that each of them is made with you placing the fabric on the mannequin before you can get the styles. All right. Or not just that, for your display of your designs. When someone walks into your store and sees a dress on the mannequin, it gives it, it shows the beauty of the dress more on the mannequin than in the hanger. All right. So, mannequin comes in different ways. We have the pinnable ones, we have the ones that are not pinnable. So whichever one you can afford, it depends on the finance that is available to you. All right. So whichever mannequin you can afford, you go with what you can afford. Okay. If it's children, we have the children mannequin, we have the adults, different kinds of mannequin. So mannequin is a necessity when it comes to ready to wear business. Even if you are home, even before you get your shop, you need a mannequin. You can be at home and have a mannequin and it does the job for you. Another equipment that is a must you need is buttonhole machine, button cover machine. All right. These two machines are necessary, especially when you're dealing with ready to wear business. When you're into ready to wear business, it is necessary because you make clothes that needs button. Now, there are different kinds of buttonhole machine. We have the manual one. I think there is a footer now where footer you can buy that for manual. You just place it and you're able to sew um buttonhole for yourself on manual. Right? And we equally have the industrial buttonhole footer. I think these days what people do is buy the footer. All right, they have their normal industrial, then they use the footer for it. So, and another thing you need to buy is cover machine. All right, the button covers rather. Now we have the manual one. The manual one comes in this particular green buttonhole machine has so many functions. All right, so at every ready to wear business owner has it. All right, it does eyes lead. It has so many functions. Everyone have this particular green buttonhole cover. Okay, so if you cannot afford, there are buttonhole machines that we have it in industrial. All right, and we equally have buttonhole foot, footer that you can change it to your machine and you're able to do your buttonhole the way you want it. All right, so whichever one you can afford, it is a necessity you have it because you make dresses that requires button. Yes, as a ready to wear business owner, you make dresses that require button. You cannot do without it. Okay, so you will be needing a button allowance. Okay, you will be needing a button whole machine. So whichever one you can afford, all right, make sure you get one for yourself, the footer or the machine, whichever one is okay. Now, the next is hanger. Now, where do you display even if you're selling it online, you need a small hanger where you can line up the dresses because the dress you're making, you're not just making one dress that will just be on only the dummy. No, the dress you're making is not only on the dummy. No. Your dress you're making equally, you make up to 10 pieces of the one dress. So you need where to hang them. All right. There are so many hangers you can get. There are bigger ones, there are small ones, there are ones you just need to screw them on the wall, which is what I think that I started with that one. I think I went how much? I think I bought it about 2.5 then. One of it, you screw it to the wall. You need to buy like 2.5. I think I bought like 5 then. You'll be able to hang your dresses on them, the way they are according to the colors and all the rest of them. So as a ready to wear business owner, or you're trying to start your own ready to wear, you need these hangers. Start with what you can afford. All right. Start. There are hangers that contains up to, I think, 10 clothes or 20, between 10 to 20 clothes at a time. You can start with those ones, start with smaller ones, just straight like this. All right. Just a manageable one is good to go. But you need hangers. You need to hang your clothes, so people will get to say, this particular style, they have it many, they have it in different sizes. Or maybe this particular style, oh, it's almost done, or they've almost sold out. It's just 3 or 2 left. Okay, so dummy does it work, mannequin does it work, but you equally need, where to hang your clothes, keep them in lines. All right, so this is one of the things you consider when writing down your list for your ready to wear business. Okay, this is embroidery machine. All right, now for this last list of machine comes in maybe when you have must have leveled up. Okay, or I decided to add this machine because there are people that do ready to wear for polo. All right. So that is why I added all these machines. All right. So if you're into ready to wear of polo, jersey and all the rest of them, these are embroidery machine. So when you're doing a ready to wear embroidering, when you start a ready to wear business, this, and it is not Ankara, any other one, but all this polo jersey, this embroidering is necessary. So that is why I just put it last, okay, in case you have interest in. But as your business grow, you can equally have embroidery machine. There are so many uses for it. Some people use it for design. There are people that design, craft out their own designs. You don't see them in the market. Okay, and there are some people that equally use their embroidery machine for their logo on each of their dresses, okay, to make it more unique, and for people to be unable to mass produce it or whatever, or you know make the fake of it. All right, so embroidery machine it's a necessity for those that are into polo, jersey, all right, and any other kind of dress that requires embroidering. And but it is an addition to people, to those into ready to wear business like Ankara, um daily wear like office wears, trousers and all the rest of them. So as the business grows, you can always add your embroidery machine to it. So with this, you'll be able to start up your ready to wear business comfortably.